Let's go. Let's go. We're talking about F9, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I've been on vacation, took a trip to Montana to see some family, needed to see, and man, I have a lot to catch up on. We're going to be talking about Fast and Furious 9. We're going to do a spoiler review of Fast 9 today. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and talk about, I'm going to let you know that this is going to be a spoiler review for Fast 9. I'm going to talk about, I don't want to say the ins and outs of this movie because that makes it sound like it's a way more complicated movie than it actually is. It's not a very complex movie. Just where I think the Fast and Furious franchise is going to go from here and what happens from here on out. We'll see. We'll see. So if you haven't seen Fast 9 and you care about the movie, this is not the review for you. Going to get into some spoilers here. All right, so the Fast and Furious trilogy, or the trilogy, what the hell is wrong with me? I don't even know what trilogy we're at now. What's 9? Technically 10, if you include Hobbs and Shaw, but for this discussion, we're not going to talk about Hobbs and Shaw. We're just going to be talking about the core Fast and Furious movies, all 9 of them. And for me, these movies have always been divided up into pairs, not only in the way that I think about them, but also in the way that I judge them, so to speak. Let's talk about Fast 1 and Fast 2. The first movie, God, they all look so young. It's like looking at the young cast of Friends or something in that video. It's kind of weird. But that's back when they were stealing DVD players. They were street racing hustlers. And it was a simple Point Break type of movie. It was fine. It was a good movie. It's a rewatchable movie, but it's nothing special. Then you get into Too Fast, Too Furious. Another one that I think falls into the same category. I think this movie is overhated. Very overhated. I enjoy this movie, and I enjoy this movie quite a bit. I own both of them. They're fun, enjoyable watches. And keep in mind, Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, those are your main characters for the first movie, and then Paul Walker's in the second one. They introduced Tyrese Gibson and Ludacris in the second movie. Then you have the third and the fourth movie. You start off with Tokyo Drift, a movie that's forgettable, a movie that it is what it is. It's there. It's nothing you really need to go back and rewatch again. Then the box office really got rejuvenated with Fast and Furious, which is not The Fast and the Furious. This is the fourth movie. They just took out all the thes. The titles in this series are really, really stupid. It kind of matches up with the whole movies themselves being dumb. But the movies themselves are at least fun, stupid. Where the title, they just took out the thes. It sets up the Brian O'Connor story arc. They try to kill off Letty. LOL at that attempt. And it's okay. But the big thing was it got the fan base back from Tokyo Drift, even though I didn't like it personally. Then you get my favorite pair of movies. Fast 5. They bring in The Rock. They go to Rio. My favorite movie of the whole franchise right here. The most fun, for sure. But you know what else was really fun? Fast and Furious 6. That was a very fun movie. They bring in the Shaws, or at least one of the Shaws, Owen Shaw. You bring Letty back into the franchise. The Rock and Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, they're all working together now. Very fun movies. But they also started to get away from the street racing, and they made them more like people doing heists or spy-ish things. That's the duo, that's the pair of movies I like the most. Then Furious 7, the movie that makes me cry at the end despite being one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen. But still pretty fun. They're still pretty fun. And it really focused on the whole family element of things. They kind of had to with the whole Paul Walker's situation, unfortunately, we lost Paul Walker in a car accident late in 2013. This movie came out in April of 2015. They were able to do some CGI stuff with a brother, and this was the final movie that Paul Walker made an appearance in. Then, number 8, The Fate of the Furious. They introduced Charlize Theron. Deckard Shaw from the 7th movie kind of joins the family, sets things up for Hobbs and Shaw. Again, a fun, really dumb movie, but it really focuses on the family aspect of things. It likes to drive that home. We family, we family. You know, Vin Diesel loves to talk about how much they're family. So I went into F9, another really dumb title, thinking this movie is going to be as good as the 10th movie is. They tend to go in pairs, and I'm not really including Hobbs and Shaw. It's kind of its own entity. You don't even really have to consider it a Fast and Furious movie if you really don't want to. So 9 and 10 are probably going to be about the same quality if this franchise continues to do what it's been doing. And I have to say, I might be done with this. Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up. I'm done with this series. It's not a horrible movie by any means. It's gone too far. And I wanted it to go too far. I had fun with this movie. I'm not gonna jerk you around and try to act like I didn't care or I didn't have any fun watching this, that I was watching it with my head hung low and I wasn't having a good time or anything like that. I was watching this movie and I had a blast doing so, but in a guilty pleasure kind of way. This was not a movie that I'm looking at going, yes, the characters, kind of, in the Fast and Furious movies, stupid as they may be, you do care about the characters and this family that they have so much that you kind of feel like you've been along the ride with all of these guys because you kind of have been. And this movie kind of ditches the whole family aspect, at least as far as the way that it worked in the other ones. They still mention it a lot. They mention, oh, we family, and they have lots of flashback. Let me get this out of the way. The flashback scenes in this movie were awful, and there was way too many of them. Where young Dom and young Jacob, played by John Cena, they got an actor who looked not a damn thing like Vin Diesel. I think they got a light-skinned black dude to try to pull off Vin Diesel. It was weird. Whoever casted this guy, the actor was okay, halfway decent, but it would be like if you tried to get Tyrese Gibson to play me. Just wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. And the guy that played young John Cena is like maybe 6 years younger than John Cena. So if they're trying to be 20, 30 years back, doesn't make a damn lick of sense. I didn't get it, and there was way too much of it. Let's talk about Dominic Toretto, the main character of the Fast and Furious franchise. I felt like he was kind of relegated to being a side character in this whole thing. Just, he was doing a lot, but I didn't think he said too much. He speaks, but it's just kind of, all right, we're going here, then we're doing this. He didn't have those big monologues about family that you come to a Fast and Furious movie for. Yes, am I complaining about dumb stuff? Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? But I wanted the family monologues. I wanted all that. And this movie felt like he wasn't doing that. He was just kind of a wooden 2x4. And I didn't like that. Give me the personality and the family aspect of Dom. That's what I'm there for, and I feel like they kind of stripped that away just a little bit. Let's talk about this hunking doofus. Jacob, played by John Cena. Again, this is a spoiler review, but if I told you that everything was fine and that Jacob would actually return to be a member of the family, would you really be surprised? No, I predicted that from the moment I heard that his brother was going to be the villain. Of course he's going to be. He wasn't at the barbecue table because reasons, but everything's all cool. They're not going to have a member of the Toretto family be a villain for more than 2.5 seconds. That's not going to happen. John Cena was fine. He looked stupid with that chain on, but he was fine. He was okay. His lines were stupid. They made him a super spy. Sorry there. They made him a super spy, and it made no sense. Well, all these guys being super spies makes no damn sense. Let's talk about them bringing back Han. scene doing the one thing that he does best, eating peanuts. That man's always eating a snack all the damn time. They're aware of that stereotype now for Han, and they just lean into it. Do they give a good reason for Han being back? Hell no. Hell no. They just kind of said, some stuff happened and now he's back. Cool. He's back now, I suppose. Awesome. And what does he do in this movie? Not a whole lot. He has some girl with him that's a plot convenience. He has one cool action scene in the back of a truck. That's kind of cool. They do a lot of stuff with magnets in this movie. And I wish they would have done a lot less stuff with magnets. They just said, magnets can solve all of our problems and get us out of anything. So turn the damn magnet on. We're going to have some fun here. And it was overdone. It was overdone. Anytime they got into any trouble whatsoever, I'm like, they're going to turn the magnet on in 3, 2, 1, trouble's gone. There's no tension in this movie anymore. In 5 and 6, you're like, oh shit, they might kill somebody. In 7, you're watching knowing someone in the cast actually died, and this is going to be a send-off. There's no tension. You know everything's going to be fine. And there's no better explanation for that than they go to space. They go to space. That's Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson in a car going to space. Space. I'll say it. I'm going to keep saying it because it's stupid. And it's like the 10th dumbest thing in this movie. The fact that they go to space in a Pontiac, they run into a satellite to keep this signal from being intercepted. No one gets hurt in that. The thing gets to 100%. They could have solved this plot hole just by putting 99.9 up there instead of 100. It says 100, and then it's like, oh, well, we didn't do it. You know 100 means complete, right? 100 means mission's over, you failed. They run into it after 100, and the mission, the satellite transmission stops. They're good to go. They're both living just fine, eating like Butterfingers in space. And the next thing you know, they're at the barbecue. How did they get back from space? How did they get back from... They gave a 14th of a reason how they got into space. It sucks, but maybe you can buy it. How did they get back down? I'm stupid, but I'm not an idiot. And now it just feels like they're like, well, we can do anything. At a point, it gets to be too damn much, and this is too damn much. Also, if you want to talk about things that really made me mad, and my buddy Greg Calarco, shout out to Greg, by the way, biggest Fast and Furious fan I know. We both had a very, very big issue with this movie. You need to leave this man alone. Let him rest in peace. Leave this man alone. He has done his work. They keep mentioning Brian. We all know Brian's not going to be in these movies anymore, and we know why. You sent him off perfectly. In the 8th movie, you named a kid after him. Great. In the 9th movie, you don't need to say he's at home babysitting the kids, leaving his wife to go fight terrorists. Stop bringing him up. You don't need to. We all know what happened. You acknowledged it beautifully in the 7th movie. And you did pretty well with it in the 8th movie, too. You named a kid after him. It was for Brian. It was kind of beautiful. You've done a good and tactful job of handling the Paul Walker, Brian O'Connor situation to this point. And you couldn't let well enough. You couldn't leave it alone. Leave Brian O'Connor alone. I feel like leave Brittany alone. That's me with Brian O'Connor right now. You see this man? He's peaceful. Let him rest. You don't need to keep bringing Brian O'Connor into your stuff anymore. It's done. It's over. We understand what happened. You don't have to keep trying to explain reasons why Brian's not there. We get it. But also, don't make his character worse despite... The actor is dead. Have some tact. Okay? This character's not going to leave his wife to go fight terrorists and be the damn babysitter. Okay? Leave him alone. I don't want to hear his name mentioned for the rest of the series. In fact, if you want to release a cut where you don't even mention, just 2 or 3 lines in this movie really pissed me off. Because it's like, you don't need to do this. So much unnecessary stuff. And I feel like the further we go on with it, the more unnecessary and removed from the heart of the last few movies we're going to get. And that's why it's a C for me. It could be a lot worse, but the action, it was fun to watch. It's big, it's dumb, it's stupid. Get the biggest soda and the biggest popcorn. If you're going to see it, you probably already have. To be honest, if you really want to see this movie, you've probably already seen it. It's a fun, dumb action movie. But damn it, stop making them because they're getting further away from... I'm not one of those, they need to be streetcar movies. Not talking about that. What I'm saying is, you're getting away from the heart of the 5, 6, and 7. And even 8. You're getting away from that. And that's what drew me in. The characters, the family, all that stuff. That's what drew me in. Nobody's going to die. Got it. There's no stakes. There's no tension. That can be kind of fun. I'd rather there be stakes and tension, but there's not going to be stakes and tension. But damn it, stop getting away from what you've established these movies to be and the core reason why the fans feel close to the actors and characters. It's starting to feel a little bit like a betrayal to the point that the 10th movie might really piss some people off. Maybe quit while you're ahead because you're starting to not be ahead. Sorry, I had to get that out of the way. Kind of pissed me off. All right, let's talk about a movie that has absolutely no public opinion to it whatsoever. That's Zola, an A24 movie about a Twitter thread. That's right, this movie is based on a Twitter thread. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Some girl just got on Twitter and was like, hey, you want to hear how me and this bitch here fell out? And it went on for 140-something tweets of this story from 6 years ago. And it got some attention because it is a wild story. Got picked up into a film at Sundance. And I heard some good things about it coming out of that festival early in 2020. Was supposed to come out last summer. You know what happened next. So it's coming out this summer. This is a movie I was excited for despite not knowing too much about it. It stars Taylor Page as Zola and Riley Keough as Stephanie. And they are a group of girls who meet up through, I don't know, just like fate, luck, Satan, I don't know. But they meet up and they decide to go. They're both exotic dancers, we'll call it that. And they both go down to Tampa, Florida to make some money dancing, hooking up with people. Things go astray. And it's a story about this girl who's on a road trip with people she barely knows, trying to get out of this really, really messy situation. The Twitter thread itself is very long. Again, I mentioned it was about 140 tweets. So there's a lot going on. And it's very interesting. There's some parts of the Twitter thread where it's like, all right, come on, get to the meat of the story. Let's move on. But then you realize that some of it comes back later, and it's like, oh shit, this is actually like a real story. Like, how did this all happen in real life? And the movie itself, it's a good movie. There's a lot of good acting performance. Let's get these two back on the screen. Taylor Page as Zola, she's good, but Riley Keough as Stephanie plays it to the point where I think she might be racist. Like, obviously I'm kidding, but like she does that whole stereotypical accent that if you heard a white girl talking like that, you would be like, hold up, no. She's culturally approached. She's doing some Iggy Azalea shit. No. nope, this isn't okay. But she's kind of playing that whole white trash character, so it really works for her. And she plays somebody that has just... I've met people like this before, and they are no fun to be around, where you have no idea what's happening next, and things could go from 0 to 268 real quick, and you have no idea what the hell's in the middle. She did that very, very well. Let's talk about my favorite person in this entire movie, and one of my favorite people currently in the world, and that's Coleman Domingo. This guy's awesome. This winter, I fell in love with Coleman Domingo. In Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, he was fantastic in that. I started watching Euphoria and the special episode of Euphoria. This guy rocks. I want to see this man in everything. Everything. Every possible role. Put Coleman Domingo in it. He can make it work. Make him Abraham Lincoln. He was in Lincoln. No. Make him Abraham Lincoln. I bet he can make it work and make me believe it. I love this dude. And he plays... how do I say this without spoil? He plays a driver in the movie. He plays a driver. He's taking him down to Tampa, Florida. And this is another person where this guy just oozes control. This guy just oozes... He in one sentence, you could think you're on top of the world, and then he says something, and you realize, damn, I'm a snail, and this guy is a boot. I guess I'm just going to have to live with that situation now. Coleman Domingo is incredible in this movie. And I saw in the comment section, someone said that I had a nice shirt. I think that was my girlfriend, Sarah. Thank you. I do have this is kind of a doofy shirt, let's be honest. And I think I'm going to wear a doofy shirt when I talk about a show, movie, we can even go with a sports team that fails to live up to its potential and makes me feel kind of doofy forever believing that it could really be greatness. Because I thought this movie could be greatness. And it ends up just being good. It ends up being fine. This movie, if you go back and look at the Twitter thread, read the whole thing, a lot of the most interesting and what the hell parts of that Twitter thread, not in this movie. Not in this movie at all. And I'm thinking, wait, so you didn't want to show that, but you have a montage in which you see 10 dicks in a row. But that was too much to show? Come on now. That was one of the most interesting parts of the Twitter thread, and you didn't want to show, you wanted to gloss over that, but we get a 10-dick montage? Come on. That's not okay. Give us the meat, and I'm not talking about penis. Sorry, I just couldn't with that one. So, but serious, like, this is a crazy story. This woman has sex with 20 people in one night. First of all, how can you do that? But this is based on a real story, so apparently it happened. And this movie gets nasty. But towards the end of the Twitter thread, we're supposed to get some nasty parts in another way, and it glosses over that and ends with about 15 tweets left to go. There's about 15 tweets left in this thread that I was waiting on. Like, all right, let's wait till we get to this part. And the movie cuts off. This movie ends, and I'm like, all right, we're going to get to this end here, and it's going to make me love it. I'm going to love this movie. The movie says you're going to love getting out of your seat and going home. I'm like, oh. I went from giving this thing like an A- to a B. It could have gone a lot higher. You kept it going and actually gave me what was in the damn Twitter thread, as opposed to leaving me to do research. This when we pulled some Devil Inside stuff. Without being as bad, which The Devil Inside is my least favorite movie of the entire 2010s, if not all time, because I hated it beforehand and it has the worst ending of all time. This ending is not that bad, but it does a lot of what A24 movies do. A24 movies have one of two ways to end. They either are 2.5 hours long and, they just keep on going and going and going, or they're like an hour 20, hour 30, and they just stop. And this is one of those. It's less than an hour and a half long. So if you're looking for a quick movie, this will have you in and out under 2 hours, easy. But it's also, I could have gone for 15 more minutes. The whole movie has it reminded me of 2016 to 2018 pop music, where it's very downbeat. It's very in your face about how little it's trying. It's like, all right, we're just going to sit the camera here and let whatever happens happen. And I don't think that was really the right approach for a story like this. You could have done a lot more. The cinematography is it feels like it's shot with an iPhone type of thing. I wanted this to be good time. This could have been good time with Robert Pattinson, directed by the Safdie brothers. Could have been that kind of movie. It wasn't. It felt like a wasted opportunity, and that's why I'm wearing this big blue doofy shirt. Wanted to love it. Thought I would love it. Gave me every opportunity to love it. I loved the characters in it. Loved Coleman Domingo, because that guy's awesome. And if he played my mother in a movie, I'd be like, you nailed it. That's exactly what my mom was like. Coleman Domingo's great. This movie had a lot of missed opportunities. So I'm going to give it a B. A movie that could have been an A. Could have been an A+. Twitter thread, very interesting. If you haven't read it, go check it out. You're going to need some time. It's about 140 tweets. It's very long, but it's worth it. God, this movie had the opportunity to be greatness. And it just settled on being good. Just settled on being good. All right. We're going to talk about the best and worst pop songs, or rather the best and worst hit songs of 2011. I sent out a podcast a few weeks ago to some people about the worst hit songs. That one actually had songs included in it. I had the actual song in it. YouTube's fair use policies are complete and utter jokes. And if I put even 2 seconds of something on here, I know it's going to get taken down and I'm going to get, death threats to my family or something. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk about these songs. I'm going to talk about the year of 2011 in pop music as a whole. I'm going to be back in about 10 seconds or so. Let me leave you first with my number 10 for my worst hit song of 2011 before I get into really what the year was as a whole. All right. So, 2011 in pop music, or hit music, whatever the hell you want to call it, was a transitional year. Think about it. In 2009, the biggest hit was I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas. In 2010, it was TikTok by Kesha, two very club-friendly, we're going to be up in the club having a good time, feel good about yourself type, club boom type songs. 2011, the number one song was Rolling in the Deep by Adele, and in 2012, it was Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier featuring Kimbra. We were definitely entering a new type of era of music, and this was before the big bombs were coming in 2013 and 2014. 2013 being Royals by Lorde really coming and putting up a mirror to the type of music that was getting popular. And then in 2014, big rise of streaming and music, Spotify, Apple Music. That stuff would get a lot bigger. 2014, 2015, and music would come to really, really change from what it was at the beginning of the decade to what it was at the end of the decade. And I think 2011 is a big part to play in why the sound of music started to shift so much. There was still a lot of the same type of stuff coming out, large variety of stuff coming out. That's one thing I can say about the 2010s. A lot of variety. Number 10, worst hit song, 2011. Let's get going. Where Them Girls At by David Guetta featuring Nicki Minaj and Flo Rida. This song is fine until Nicki Minaj comes in and does whatever the hell Nicki Minaj does, yelling day, and yammering on about getting her driver's license. It's annoying. Didn't much care for it. 10th worst song, of 2011. Number 9, If I Die Young by the band Perry. Holy Mother of God, this song had no business being on the radio as much as it was. It is aggressively depressing, and it feels like that girl... This Twilight, man, this feels like somebody watching Twilight just going, man, I wish I died so people could realize how important I am. And that's a really annoying sentiment. And that's this whole song. And it was on the radio all the damn time. I hated it. Number 8, Pretty Girl Rock by Carrie Hilson. That is a haunting image right there. That looks like something out of The Woman in Black. Woman of that Daniel Radcliffe movie that came out the year after this. Pretty good horror movie. Carrie Hilson, writing a female empowerment anthem that is only meant to empower one female, and that is Carrie Hilson. Why did you write this? It sucks. You have no rhythm, and you would go on to do absolutely nothing, except last year you blamed 5G for the COVID pandemic. Glad you're not on the radio anymore. Number 7, that would be S&M by Rihanna. Rihanna has had a lot of really good songs. Rihanna has had a lot of really bad songs. And then Rihanna came out with this. This is a song about sex that's about as sexy as a 5-month-old sandwich that you left in the fridge. It's annoying as all hell, and the Britney Spears remix, if that's what I was talking about, would have been number 1 on this list. Number 6, Tonight by Enrique Iglesias featuring Ludacris. You know the chorus of this song. If you do, you know why it's on this list. Way more rapey than Blurred Lines could ever hope to be. Number 5, Dirt Road Anthem by Jason Aldean. Somebody told this smirking dumbass here that rapping is something that he should do. Whoever that is, I hope someone lets you know that that was a bad idea. And preferably by a punch to the face. Awful, awful, awful song where Jason Aldean sounds either drunk or like he couldn't care less about how the quality of this song turned out. Number 4, Jar of Hearts by Christina Perri. Lady, you did not date Voldemort. Enough. This song is at about a 957, and it should be at an 8. Terrible, terrible songwriting, and it just goes on forever. Number 3, these doofi. Backseat by the New Boys featuring Devin the Cataracts. The line, I met a couple girls in an Escalade. They came with you and left with me. It's nothing terrible, but, it's not good. The line, I heard you had a baby. You want a new boy in you. I think it gave me brain tumor. It's that bad. Number 2, Country Girl by Luke Bryan, also known as the worst artist of the decade. This song was the start of bro country. It should have been number 1 on that merit alone. This song is just the biggest, I got beer and trucks and I want to see your booty. I cannot stand it. And oh yeah, this doofus tries to rap too. How is this not number 1? Because the Black Eyed Peas decided to crap all over their quote-unquote legacy. The Time, Dirty Bitch, Dirty Bit, whatever the hell you want to call this piece of crap, sampling that song from Dirty Dancing. And I'm not a Dirty Dancing fan, but I took offense to it because it was just used so terribly. Fergie sounds like she got left in the washing machine overnight. Some guy talked about how he needs to download an app to party. Will.i.am is still Will.i.am. The beat, oh my God, that beat, it's so awful. It's so bad. It sounds like Wally got hit by a Mack truck and is crying out for help. Song is so incredibly awful. The Time, Dirty Bit. Worst hit song of 2011. It could be the worst hit song of the entire decade when I get to that list. And I'm going to go into more detail with these songs, with the podcast that I'll kind of send out through email to people. If you want one, let me know. Again, I like to be more creative and use the songs actually and go into more detail about the legacy and all that. But, again, YouTube's fair use laws, they're a joke. And I like my mom living and breathing. So, I'm not going to do my part to piss off the YouTube overlords. Number 10 on the best songs. And there were a lot of good songs in 2011. 2010, I thought, had the top songs of 2010 were better than the top songs of 2011. But it didn't mean that we didn't get a lot of gems. Starting off with number 10, where'd you go, buddy? I miss you so much. Usher with More. I know I'm probably not the only one in this category, but I'm currently in the process of trying to lose the COVID weight. I'm trying to lose the COVID-19, if you know what I'm saying. And a song like this can really help to get you pumped out, to work out, go for a run, whatever it may be. It has so much energy and speed, and Usher's just the man on this thing. Such a fun song to listen to. Red One, great work with the production, buddy. You really put this song into another level, and it just gets onto my top 10. Number 9, the 2010s belong to this lady right here. At least the early 2010s did, and that's Katy Perry. Katy Perry was like Terrence Mann last week for the Clippers. This was her heat check. Just throwing up a shot from half court because, well, I can't really seem to miss anything. And it went in. This song had no business being as good and fun as it was, but it's so much fun. Love Last Friday Night by Katy Perry. An excellent saxophone solo on this song as well. But was it the best sax solo of the year? No, not even close, because my number 8 song, The Edge of Glory by Lady Gaga, holds that distinction. 2011 was a weird year for Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga had Born This Way, the album as well as the single, and both were kind of underwhelming. I love the message of Born This Way, but the song itself is very overcrowded with these different effects and just background noises. It's very preachy and pandering as well. Whereas this song is the most sincere song Lady Gaga had made up to this point, and it's so much fun as well. Good work, Gaga. I absolutely love you. Number 7. This song was written about Taylor Lautner, of all people. Taylor Lautner inspired Taylor Swift's best song to date. How weird is that? Back to December by Taylor Swift is kind of her trial run for what would become Style in 2015. It's a song about a woman just wrapped up in regret and letting her partner or her ex-partner know, you're not going to take me back, but I need you to know I apologize for what happened. I messed up. I'm sorry, and I've got to live with that. It's really the first true sign of what was to come for Taylor Swift in the folklore and the best parts of 1989 era as well, with the really sincere writing. Taylor Swift's best song to date by far, Back to December, at least in 2011. She'd have better to come in the future. This next song won number 7, so you know it had to be number 6. That's 6 Foot, 7 Foot by Lil Wayne featuring Corey Guns. Lil Wayne was on a lot of songs in the early 2010s, but this was the first song that he recorded coming out of his prison sentence, and it sounds like a song with somebody who took their time to actually get good quality bars out there. Lil Wayne has a lot of crappy bars out there, literally. He loves talking about poop and toilets a lot, to the point where I don't know if I'm leaving that alone. But this is a song where Lil Wayne is just operating at his highest level. Love it. So much fun. Corey Gunn's not half bad also. Number 5. Yep, the year belonged to her, and I would like to thank 2011 for giving us the everlasting gift that is Adele. Someone Like You hit for me personally more than Rolling in the Deep did. This is a song, another song with somebody just absolutely wrapped up in regret. This is not a song that paints Adele in a very flattering light. It is a very naked songwriting approach to this. And she has such a good voice. She's able to pull it off so incredibly well. This was the first time that I really knew that Adele was going to... I thought Adele was going to be someone that everybody else loved, but it wasn't for me. This song let me know, yeah, you can love Adele too. Join the rest of us. You can join the Adele train. Choo-choo, we're going to great places. Number 4, another person that I wasn't quite on board with. I liked a lot of her stuff. How could you not love Sweet Dreams? Love on Top by Beyonce might be the best song of her entire career. And I know it might be blasphemous. Oh, Crazy in Love's better. And maybe it is. When I get to the best songs of 2003, 2004, whatever year that came out, maybe I'll reverse course on that. But Love on Top by Beyonce really showcases her vocal range. It showcases joy in Beyonce's voice. And Beyonce she loves to just talk shit. She loves putting these dudes down, and I heard someone once say that it feels really too easy for her for it to be fun. It's kind of like watching Wolverine take out your friends. It's like there's no real challenge there. But Beyonce, when she decides to do love songs, something about the sincerity and the energy that she chooses to sing with in this song, it's fantastic. And the live performance that she does at the VMAs, MTV, whatever award show it is, and then she announces that she's pregnant at the end of it, fantastic performance. This is just great work by Beyonce. Now, number 3, I'm going to put the camera back on me for a second. When I did this list the first time, I went through the charts and went through like, all right, these are the songs that are eligible to make this list. Then I listened to all the songs, and then I kind of went back to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I realized that this number 3 song actually wasn't eligible, didn't meet my requirements. But it was my number 3 best song of the year. I didn't want to take it off. So I tried to find reasons to justify it. And it turns out I didn't have to look hard at all. Because I looked at the bottom 20 of the Billboard Hot 100 for 2011. And I said, all right, I'm going to pick a random song. And if I know this song better than what's number, I don't know, like 84 or something on the Hot 100, I'm going to keep this song up there. The number 84 song was In the Dark by Dev. And I said, hell yeah, I'm definitely keeping Marvin's Room in the top 10. Because there are definitely more people that know Marvin's Room than In the Dark by Dev. That is just a damn fact. Marvin's Room, you want to talk about naked songwriting. Holy mother of God. This is Drake at his most stripped down. This is a song that, this is why I loved Drake before he knew that he was going to stay famous was fantastic. Because there came a point, maybe it was started from the bottom, definitely after started from the bottom, where Drake said, I'm part of the culture, and nothing's going to change that. I could make poopity scoop like Kanye West did, and it's going to be a top 10 song. Trust me, he did make Poopity Scoop, because Poopity Scoop is actually more interesting than I'm Upset or Nonstop was, and those were hits. Because at least Poopity Scoop is like, why the hell would Kanye West make that? I'm Upset and Nonstop were just boring as all hell, and they make Drake look like a doofus. Marvin's Room, however, we've all been down like this before, and if you haven't, wait a few years, your time's coming. Unfortunately, it will. Hits us all. Marvin's Room by Drake. It's such a downbeat, depressing song, but we need a song like that. And when it's as just raw as Marvin's Room is, I can listen to this. When he's talking about all the things that he's done because he's famous and how he can't control himself, that's the Drake I miss. I don't miss started from the bottom, now we hear Drake. Go back to the bottom, because apparently that's where you make better music. In about 10 seconds, I'll be back to talk about the top 2 songs of 2011. All right, we back in here. Number 2, a song I thought would genuinely be my number 1. All of the Lights by Kanye West featuring Rihanna. The production on this song is absolutely immaculate. It's some of the best production I've heard in my entire life. Hell, you can apply that sentiment to all of my beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy. Kanye West is on point here. This song has carried on for a reason. There's a reason it's become a cultural touchstone of the 2010s. Rihanna sounds great. The production is awesome. Kanye West is telling a very interesting story. All of the lights, definitely one of the best songs of 2011. Kanye West also had my number 2 song of 2010, that being Runaway, featuring Pusha T. Now, Runaway, I think, is leagues better than All of the Lights. And if Runaway had charted in 2011, it would have been my number 1 song of the year in a runaway. No pun intended, but pun definitely intended. Would have been my number 1. But I kind of feel bad for Kanye, because Kanye, what's the saying? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Well, I'd like to bring this up to the jury. This picture from 2014, maybe 2015. In a Waffle House, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, along with Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. And it was a meme, again, mid-2010s. And the meme said something along the lines of, John loves Chrissy, so John holds Chrissy's hand. Kanye loves Kanye, so Kanye holds Kanye's hand. So if there's one person on the entire planet that I would expect to try to be both the bridesmaid and the bride, it would definitely be Mr. Kanye West. Congratulations, Kanye. You're number 1 and you're number 2. Otis, my favorite hit song of 2011. Now, he's not there by himself. It's Jay-Z and Kanye West. This song really getting the whole Watch the Throne thing going. Such a great era for both Jay and Ye. This song feels like 2 of your most talented best friends. If your friends have actual talent, gotta be honest, mine, they've talent. What's the phrase? They're gonna go professional in something other than sports. That they're not going to be doing this. But it's like if your best friends, they're in the backseat rapping, and your best friends just happen to be Jay-Z and Kanye West. They're having a great time. You're in the car. You're vibing along with them. You're seeing all these cool sights in the car with you. It's just a great time. And you know what rap music in the 2010s became? Just this downbeat, dour stuff. A lot like Marvin's Room, but Marvin's Room can't be every song. Songs like Otis don't really come out anymore. This song is so much fun to listen to vibe with, to just have in the car, speakers up, and, just going back and forth. So much fun. We need a song like this. We need albums like Watch the Throne. Loved Watch the Throne. And this song, one of my favorite rap songs of the entire decade. So much fun. Otis by Jay-Z and Kanye West. 2 of the cultural gatekeepers of the early 2010s. Congratulations, guys. You're number 1 on a list that means absolutely nothing to anybody. Good work. Good work. I would like to make an announcement regarding the future of this channel, something that I'm very, very, very excited about. At some point in either late August or early September, I'm going to start doing the live streams for this channel on Twitch, and then uploading the highlights of those live streams over on YouTube. Another reason why I'm going to be doing that is because I'm going to be including some esports content on there, as well as the sports, the music, the movies, all that stuff. I have a lot of buddies that like to play a lot of NBA, a lot of Madden, and we thought, we've been getting some people that said, hey, if you actually included some of that in your content, I'd have more reason to watch the live stream. So if you want to go over to Press Play Action over on Twitch, we're in the middle of an NBA 2K tournament right now. Myself and Greg Clarko played some games today, none of which were close, but they were all pretty fun to play. We are about 75%, maybe 70% through with that tournament as of right now. If you want to follow along, again, press play action over on Twitch. Once we get into Madden season, I'm going to be including some of that content over here. Maybe get Greg Clarko to talk about some of these things as well. I have some back and forth on that. Doing as much as possible because I love being in front of a camera and hearing the sound of my own voice. I'd love to sit here and say, no, I'm doing that. No, I like planning out things. I like talking, and I might as well do something with it. So here I am. Again, press play action over on Twitch. Later in the week, I'm going to be talking about, I will be talking about more of the conference finals today, but they've just been so just bleh. Everybody's getting hurt. Feels like none of the best players are on the court. I think by Friday, I'll be able to talk about the Suns making the NBA Finals. Also going to have movie reviews for The Forever Purge, The Tomorrow War, and The Boss Baby back in business. That's just disgusting, the fact that there's a Boss Baby 2. There's no Edge of Tomorrow 2. Tomorrow War is not Edge of Tomorrow 2, but there's a sequel to The Boss Baby, but not one of the better sci-fi movies of the 2010s. I'm disappointed. I'm sad. And I'll be here to talk to you about all that later in the week. So, yeah, have a great rest of your week. Hope you had some fun listening to my rantings about F9, Zola, and 2011 as a year in music. I'll be keeping an eye on 2012, and I'll have that out pretty soon.